Hey guys, welcome to a very special event that we're hosting today. We're doing a joint event with Polygon, Arweave, the Open Web Foundry, and then also Bundlr. So we're going to have Sam talk a little bit about the PermaWeb apps made with Polygon, and then we're going to have Josh give a brief demo of Bundlr.Network, and then we're going to have our regular community spotlight programming from some projects that are currently building in the Open Web Foundry. So with that, I'll throw it to Sam, who can kick us off.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us, everyone. So, yes, as Jesse says, this is a pretty, exciting moment. We'd like to talk to you about building PermaWeb applications. So those are fully decentralized web applications built on top of Arweave, but with other chains. And today the focus is on Polygon. So for those that aren't aware, that are maybe here from the Polygon side, Arweave is a decentralized permanent storage system that exposes this thing we call PermaWeb on top. That's all of the data stored inside this blockchain is available inside people's web browsers. It's a permanent decentralized web, essentially. Polygon, for those on the Arweave side that are not aware, is simply a fast, cheap smart contracting platform that is EVM compatible. So it's like if you made Ethereum actually fast, more or less. And you can now use Polygon and Arweave together seamlessly. So the cool thing about this is, from the user's perspective, it looks like Arweave is essentially just another feature set that is available inside the Polygon ecosystem. And from the Arweave side, it looks exactly like a normal PermaWeb application, but you can, instead of using Arconnect or Arweave.app, you can use a Polygon wallet and also Polygon tokens to pay for storage. And we'll see a demo of what this looks like in just a moment. So essentially, this allows you to build a fully decentralized web application stack with smart contracts being interchangeable, handling the wallet that the user has, so the identity, as well as the tokens that the user uses to pay for storage. And then underneath, there's the PermaWeb Arweave layer, where you store the UI in a decentralized way. You store the assets, whether it be videos, images, blogs from users, whatever it happens to be, the large piece of data on the PermaWeb. And then you can also do database writes, reads from Arweave as well. So it's a fully decentralized web application stack when you put it all together. So why would you want to build a PermaWeb app anyway? I think the key reason is that, one of the key reasons is that you can build web applications that have no controller. They exist in sort of ownerless state. In the same way that on Ethereum and Polygon, when you deploy a smart contract, the code of that smart contract essentially becomes the law. Well, you can now do that with web applications as well. And so you can create open public spaces in cyberspace where no single authority has control over what is, for example, said. So you can imagine that this would be important in web applications that guarantee their users some sort of speech rights, like a decentralized public square, which is exactly, in fact, what Josh is about to demo to us, would be a perfect example of this. You can make a decentralized public square where no company or single person controls it, using this stack that we're describing today. You can also have applications that are controlled directly by their users. So you can have a governance layer if you want, which can, of course, live inside a DAO on Polygon, or you can have potentially many other different variations. One would hope that we could move past, as Vitalik calls it, coin voting sometime soon, and potentially even have democratically controlled PermaWeb applications, where that DAO is really just looking at, well, who is a Sybil resistant identity? So that's a really, really powerful feature as well. You can have decentralized permanent web applications that are controlled in a democratic way. These are also applications that users can trust. They can't essentially be revoked once they're deployed. And so as a user, you can be sure that you can use this web application, whether it be a decentralized Twitter, a decentralized YouTube type system, or something entirely new altogether. You can trust that you can use it without the potential for the quality to be degraded over time. And this is really important because in the Web 2 application lifecycle, essentially what happens is that the application is made available for free at the beginning when it's bankrolled by VCs typically. and the quality of the application at that point continues to increase. Then a process of market capture happens. And once market capture has happened, and that typically involves installing some kind of moat, so making it very hard for people to leave and use a different application, then the process suddenly turns to profit maximization. How can we squeeze as much value from the users that we've essentially trapped inside the system with the promise given by this increasing quality phase where everything was great and the service was free and it was even getting better. Well, now you're kind of stuck and value is being extracted from. So another reason you might be excited about this is that you can build applications on open data. That is, data on top of Arweave is available in all applications that use Arweave. And so if you're, for example, building a new type of blogging platform on Arweave, you might want to use the data that's already available from Mirror. And you can just do this. No one can stop you. It's open and permissionless. And this is a really, really powerful, different way of building web applications where the bootstrap problem of gaining access to data in the first place is sort of already solved. And then the question becomes, well, how do we build the best client for essentially an open data set? And that is how you, as a developer, accrue value and make sure users stick with your system. The data is essentially owned by nobody, but controlled and committed by the user. Final big reason I would say is that you can build web applications on top of this system that have zero maintenance and zero downtime. That's because you as the developer deploy your application once you pay for it. And then the user generates an economic relationship one way or another with a gateway that, if you will, sort of animates that source code that is stored on top of the system. So the developer pays once to store the code onto the network. And then when the user wants to interact with it, they are paying one way or another for that interaction. Whether that be by their attention. And so the gateway runs adverts, or at the moment, the Arweave gateways are essentially free because we have a huge incentive for people to use Arweave, so we subsidize it. But one way or another, the user ends up with the economic burden of their usage, which is tiny because these applications are I think I read that your interaction with Facebook, the average user's interaction with Facebook over a month costs Facebook something like a few cents. So it's really almost nothing. But from the developer's perspective, if you have 1 million or 10 million users, those few cents actually add up pretty quickly. So this is a really powerful way of having applications that you just pay once to deploy, and you're paying like 1 cent a megabyte. So Josh, you got to tell me in a moment how many megabytes your application is here, the demo, but my guess is it's pretty small. And after that, you are completely done with it. There is no further obligation from your side as a developer. Super, super cool system relative to, having to pay absolute minimum $7 a month for a server on AWS. Okay, so how do you do this? Well, if you're already in the Arweave ecosystem, I think you know how easy this is at this point. But if you're new, then essentially what you're creating here is just a simple JavaScript application. And then your interactions with Polygon in this case would be via one of the EVM compatible languages like Viper or Solidity. You build as normal, but instead of user accounts, you use the Bundlr system, which Josh might tell you a little bit about in a moment, to act as a bridge, more or less, between the user's wallet, and by that we mean their identity, and also their tokens, and storage that is on top of Arweave. Instead of using backend database, you use GraphQL in the Arweave system, which is super easy, very, very fast system for interacting with the data that you store in this decentralized network as if it was a database. And then you can just deploy it with Arcbee, which is a sort of global deployment tool for Arweave. It's pretty simple. It's like one line of code. And now you have your application deployed in a permanent fashion. Or alternatively, you just use Argo, which is the same kind of thing, but it's got a nice UI on the front. And then, of course, once you've got your application out there, you might well want to govern that application using a DAO on top of Polygon, and all of the existing DAO tools in that smart contracting platform's ecosystem are compatible. You can just then query the state of that smart contract and say, hey, what was the decision regarding this governance vote, and then integrate that into the UI, if you will. So an obvious way to use this would be content moderation, or maybe even what should be highlighted today on the homepage of your decentralized YouTube type system. And you can vote on that now using a DAO on Polygon. All right, so that's a brief overview, but I think the power here is really in the, what do you say, the proof is in the pudding, right? So Josh, maybe you could show us a little bit of what these applications look like in practice.
Hey, Josh, I think you're muted.
Can't hear you, yeah.
Sorry, I made an absolute rookie error there, sorry. Awesome, thanks for the intro. So yeah, I'm the founder of Bundlr, which is essentially a protocol which works to improve the user and developer experience and make working with Arweave as easy as possible. That's pretty much what we optimize for. So yeah, I'm going to show you a demo application, a kind of a public square application built on Bundlr, also using Polygon as well. Give me a second to share my screen. Cool. Can everyone see my screen? I guess a confirmation from Sam.
Yep.
Awesome. So this is really simple. It's not particularly kind of attractive, but it demonstrates the kind of the power of what you can do with Bundlr and Polygon. So this is kind of this is a public square, but I also see this as kind of the start of like a possibility of building something like a fully decentralized Twitter. So you can just select your wallet. We actually support multiple currencies, but obviously we're going to be working with Polygon today. MetaMask, and then we just press connect, sign it, and then you're logged in. It's like the same kind of UX flow as any other application on Polygon. It's pretty simple, and then you can see a feed of all the messages I've done today. A load of gibberish that I've decided to post, frankly. So yeah, it's pretty simple. So as you would on Twitter, you post some kind of message. So let's say let's do something really simple and put demo, and then you press post. You sign the transaction using MetaMask, and then in a few seconds' time, it should appear, and then the message will appear as well once the data is available. And then yeah, great, boom. So that's pretty cool. So after that, you can go into here, and then, for example, you can look again. This is only using GraphQL, which is what Sam showed you in that presentation basically a couple of minutes ago. So you can essentially use GraphQL as an index for the entire PermaWeb. So you can index you can arbitrarily index the entire PermaWeb, frankly. So it's quite powerful. So you press search, and then you can find obviously the transactions or the messages posted by my wallet. Equally, you can do it by topic, which is kind of like looking at hashtags on Twitter, for example. So if we do demo, boom, it's there. Pretty simple. So this is kind of, for me, this is although it's really kind of, it's pretty ugly from like compared to like Twitter, for example, but this is like the start of for me something like a decentralized Twitter, which you can build end to end using Polygon and Arweave together. So yeah, this is kind of this is this is the kind of everything to kind of show, but it demonstrates the power that kind of the synergies between Polygon and Arweave can provide. Yeah.
Thanks. And so that we just saw, it's not just like the NFT contracts, which of course you could add to each of these messages, is decentralized. It's that like the assets are decentralized there, all of the querying is decentralized, and the UI itself, right? Like the whole stack of this application has no single centralized points of failure.
Exactly. It's literally, I don't think there are many, if any, like fully 100% decentralized protocol applications out there. This is kind of this. You would literally be able to build a 100% decentralized version of Twitter, like end to end, every part of the stack.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Okay, thank you so much, Josh. DMAC says he likes how it looks. I think it looks pretty cool too. DMAC, obviously, we are great thanks to who gave, well, actually built most of this demo application.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Josh.
Thanks to DMAC. It's like, yeah. We basically forked part of his work initially just to essentially integrate Bundlr. So he actually built 99% of this, which is actually amazing.
Yeah, and that actually frankly just shows how easy it is to now add other wallet support and other smart contracting system support to an existing PermaWeb app, because DMAC made it as an Arweave, if you will, pure Arweave application using RConnect and Arweave.app, if I'm not mistaken. And now it was able to, like, in a day or two, Josh and the Bundlr team were able to make it so that it works with all types of wallets for all these different chains, which is pretty amazing. All right. Thank you so much. So we'll throw it back to Jesse now.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. So thank you, Josh. Thank you, Sam. Josh, you can head on to the backstage now, so you're not being spotlighted anymore. Yeah, now we will head into the community spotlight portion of the event. So what we'll do now is we'll have 3 projects who are currently working in the Open Web Foundry present what they're working on. And first up, we're going to have CryptNote, which is a Web3 permanent storage note collaboration product. So Kay, if you want to come up here and just tell us a little bit more about that. Hey, Kay, I think your mic is on mute.
Oh, okay. So I can start like right now.
Yeah, we see your screen. It's sharing the Gather Town tab.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name's Kay. So today I'm doing this pitch for CryptNote. So basically, CryptNote is a Web3 permanent storage node collaboration product. So that's how we define us in a short term, and in a longer term, we want to be a Web3 content platform. So we want to include as much as good content within our platform as possible. So the collaboration product is as simple it is. So you can think us like Notion or like Evernote or your like iOS notes. So I think that's pretty straightforward. You can use like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, also TXT, the type of stuff. So our product is already developers, some part of that. So I think you can see a demo from here. So if you click like the siding, the locked-in, you can try write something. Right now we only have like 2. So you can open like Excel, then you can put number letters like there. There's some easy calculation and formulas like here, just like the Excel. So so here, and this part is your like working pad, so you can do like your favorites and other stuff. So for this product, we developed for like different platforms, from the iOS to Android, also the website. Also, that will support different languages. But this product is not, like simply copy the Web 2 stuff to Web 3. So we want to be more, Kubernetes native. So when it comes to the data storage, so right now we're gonna support like AR and field coins. In the future, probably we will do like IZP as well. So that's what we are working on. So here is more like product function in our product. If you go to like my homepage, you can see there's more information that you can put in your like profile. So you will have like social relationship with other people. So like foreign, forest, also the articles that you have. I think here is some like broach about NFTs and or like other partnerships. And here's some other information that you have. Like for example, this one. I think this one is Brighter IDs is a DID like Web3 project. So in the future we will like continue working with different type of good Web3 projects. So here's another part of the product function. I think that part is meaning it's about the marketing strategy that we have, because like there's so many like content generator in crypto world, they having high quality articles, so we want those people can publish their high quality content within our platform. So continue, there will be other features about ourselves. We want to working on more about the crypto native type of stuff to accomplish our goal as a Web3 content, overall platform. So the very first one is the article part. So here's the part's name is called no verse. So it's very similar to like media. So as we all know, like so many crypto projects, they're using media to give community updates. But media is a Web2 product, so yeah, I think we should that those people move to a Web3 platform. So here it is, like similar type of like layout, and you can like follow people, and we will have a recommendation generated for you using like AI. And here's number 2 things that we're working on is the template markets. So we have like ideal wireless entries, news, research reports. So like there's an example, like we want to build a platform, so some features is not developed by ourselves, so we partner with outside developers. For example, this one campaigns. I think this one is we work with this guy on Twitter called Stephen King. So here's basically some DeFi events, NFT events. So there's some like wireless information. So you can check all information from our website. So we want to keep that like open source, and so that's the templates marketable. And then it's entree. So we want to basically making every information part that is relatable. So like for example, you tag something, then similar content would come out. Like for example, you tag like Elon Musk, so everything to do with that guy. So you can basically doing research. So it's kind of similar to Google, or also similar to like Wikipedia or something like that. Also one part is if you tag like $sign of like token part, like AR, $sign AR, so you will have more information, like token information of AR. So if people watching the market, and they will have like more information about including sentiment stuff about one project. Then it's the fourth one is Q&A function. Like for example, you are a influencers in crypto, so people probably have a question to ask you, and some people maybe pay or something. So it will have like it's something similar to like Quora. So so that's it. So here's a summary. So that's basically what I have said before. And then it's the development routine. I think we talked to Jess, right? Like maybe a month or 2 months ago. I forgot exact time, but you can see like the speed of like our development. So we are pretty dedicated, and our team has like around like 4 developers right now. We also have, you know, marketing people, this and that. So that's how everything goes. And so I think oh yeah, and here's another part about DAO. So we think DAO is going to be very, you know, important, but in terms of the management of DAO, it's a, you know, difficulty for them. So for our collaboration, you know, working features, they can definitely benefit from that, and more, you know, DAO's trailer features. We're still thinking about that, and here's a little like roadmap for this. So, and then is, you know, some token feature like including mining and all stuff. Yeah, here's our contact information. So basically that's like all about like our project.
Perfect. Thanks, Kate. What can people do to help support?
What can people what type of support you're talking about, like content generator or radar?
Is there any way for people to test it out, or is there any links that they can use to read a little bit more about it?
You can go to our website right now. So so you can have like a little overview. So it's still, I think it's internal access to those websites. So
Okay, perfect.
you can
Yeah.
like follow us on Twitter, and we'll have update. And we're going to open that to public maybe in a couple weeks, like that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think Rudy just put it in the chat here. So if anyone's interested, you can go to that website. Perfect. Thank you, Kay. Yeah, we'll go on with the next presenter now. So the next one up we have is NREX, who will be presenting a carbon neutral decentralized storage plan based on Arweave. So if you just want to come up here and tell us a little bit more about that. Hey, Vitesse, how are you? I think we're having issues hearing you. I don't know if everybody else can't hear you right now.
Is this okay? Can you
Yep. Now we got audio.
Okay. So thanks for the stage, and I will try to, in simple words, and quickly share what we are working on. So NREX is has a vision to make crypto green again. So it's like America great again, but in this words, like NREX is tackling the green part of the crypto. So in one sentence, NREX connects environmental instruments directly with crypto. So the projects mainly consist of 4 parts, but we tackle at this moment only 1 part. So if you can see here, so from 1 part, we have connections with different environmental instruments, and of course different projects from other parts based on different regions. So we will go through our MVP. So here you can see, so the first part of the project is the NREX de-offsetting gap. So we are tackling to be the one-stop shop for any carbon footprint based on any needs. So we are tackling, of course, crypto as our main approach, but also we have different partners from one of the biggest trading houses that has R&D companies and also have custom, and we are interested in offsetting in the future trips, companies, even personal carbon footprint, bets, you name it, as far as we can find it. So regarding the crypto, so our approach is a little bit different from other competitors. So we will be based on one of the blockchains. It's on Solana as an SPL token, but we will tackle and you will be able to offset other blockchain consumption-based energy consumption. As you all understand, every blockchain has mainly three parts. So it's hardware, software, and energy consumption. So we are tackling the energy consumption and making this particular energy green. So in this case, we have different integrated blockchains, but we will talk about Arweave. And we have Arweave integrated as as a block explorer, as regarding the transactions. Also, we are tackling different calculations. At this point, we're a little bit struggling with the Arweave calculations on energy consumption, but I think we will get there. So you can enter any address from Arweave transactions. Just give me a second. This address. We receive information, we know total transaction count, we see balance, we see address, and we tackle different environmental instruments. So imagine if you have some kind of a transaction, some kind of part of storage, it uses some part of the energy consumption. We calculate it. At this point, the calculations are just basic ones. You choose the instrument you want to offset. So as I mentioned in the first place, NRS wants to be a one-stop shop for any consumer. So different consumers know different methods of going green. So there is in the market like renewable energy certificates, CO2 allowances, carbon credits, tree planting projects that also tackle carbon footprint. Or also in the future, we will see other different instruments like green gas, green hydrogen, and so on. So all of the instruments could lead to the way of going green. So at this point, we will start from renewable energy. You can select the region that you want to offset. So in this case, just going back with a little bit of education. So what is the renewable energy certificate? So if you have a household and you have a utility company and one day you receive a bill and they say, do you want to make your consumption green? Yes. That doesn't mean that that energy that flows to your household becomes green, or you receive it, or they just build a wind park near it. The power plants or renewable power plants that produce the energy and inject the energy in the grid, they also receive in government mandated registries, in this case in America, MREDs, certificates based on the same amount they have injected the electricity. So we tackle, they receive the separate certificates that we can sell them in the open market. So in this case, what does that mean? That we are connecting with them, and based on the region, you can select your offset. So in this case, European Union, we calculate and the consumption and the price for going green for this address for all the transactions at the moment. After that, we can think of other use cases like only for green storage or having even a separate. Sorry, I'm still not sure. Sorry for that. My Siri just went on, So and we will tackle. You can tackle different use cases. Yes. So we calculate on NRX token. We just push let's go green. We have an NRX demo wallet app. We also have integrated different other wallets, and you have an offset. Yes. So in this case, we are still generating the certificate, but what we are mostly interesting. So some of the certificates are stored regarding the offsetting history. So we will have offsetting history where anyone in the market in crypto ecosystem could come and check different addresses based on different blockchains for their green score or how green or with which instruments they are covered also. So you have different instruments, and of course you have different different blockchains and different offsets. So as a proof of ownership. So those particular certificates, we store them. Sorry, it's not. Oh, it's generated. We store it on Arweave. We are also interested in the future to store not only certificate but all the offset history, and even moving our UI to Arweave as an application. So, and we see a lot of use cases going forward that, as we discussed earlier, I think a couple of weeks, we are still not seeing in the market the centralized, sustainable green storage and the other products that could be built on top of that, like green NFTs and so on and so on. So it's a very short introduction from our side. So maybe you have some questions or just some comments regarding that.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting. I think we do need some more transparency in this space, as I know a lot of projects claim to be green and you can't really verify any of that. So I think that this will be very good. And also, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and we're going to have a mingle session afterwards. So once we have one more presenter, and then after that, we're all going to go into the audience, and you can ask the founders any questions that you may have. So yeah, Vitas, thank you very much. I'm sure there'll be some questions later on. Cheers. And then next up, we'll have Kanchi tell us a little bit more about Astronation, which is a metaverse that is being built on Arweave. Hey, you're just muted right now.
Hello everybody. I hope you can hear me now.
Yep.
Perfect. I'm gonna share the presentation and be right started. We've heard so many. Thank you very much for having me. We've heard so many great things about the tools that we have available in the browser. Let me take you guys into a trip into space, into virtual reality, because I think that the entertainment platforms are essentially moving into VR, and this creates this additional demand for immersive virtual environments that we're just starting to build in the widely conceptualized metaverse, but in particular in virtual reality. I've been working on this problem for quite a few years already, and I've been tackling very specific issues that have been, let's say, throttling the explosion of the adoption of virtual reality and the metaverse in general. First of all, I wanted to highlight the real physics and the fact that to really achieve the comfort, we need to provide people with an environment that they understand, that things that are happening there match their expectations. But nevertheless, we also need open APIs to be able to integrate all of the utilities that come from the, for example, web world, and also enable the collaboration of the content creators in the environment ecosystem that is perhaps a little bit more adapted to their needs. So here I wanted to highlight like the four advantages of Astronation. First is the focus on creator economy, on enabling and delivering modern tools to content creators who want to display their artwork in the metaverse in mixed reality. And we want to enable them to be able to showcase, perform, and interact with their fan base, and also, of course, monetize their work that is moving from the physical realm into the virtual realm. But this monetization has been historically an issue for quite a few decades, I would say. Like the virtual worlds have been created for quite a while now. But now we have the blockchains and the utility that is brought by the Web3 platforms, namely, for example, Arweave. And I'm going to be expanding on that in a second. But basically, we're able to materialize those abstract technical features of Web3 into like virtual but still material objects that people can easier understand, easier use, and easier take advantage of for their own benefit. We're focusing on the VR native shared collaborative experience, and so far we managed to break a few technological barriers. And here is the first and foremost is the event-driven physics model that is based on 128-bit numbers. We have a highly concurrent, low latency backend architecture for communicating the changes that are happening in the metaverse. And of course, the client architecture that can grow alongside with the creators and be easily extensible with new content. I've been working on this for quite a while, but I wanted to just focus on the, let's say, the recent few years and the recent in the past and in the future. In 2017, a big milestone happened where we've released a technical demo. We've recorded several images and videos. I'm going to show you the trailer soon from that time, and then the demo from currently. But due to the situation, the crypto and stuff like that, this wasn't really the mature environment that we wanted to go to. The smart contracts were just starting, and so and also there were some issues with the, let's say, game engines. So being kind of forced to get back to the drawing board, in last year we managed to come back with the alpha, pre-alpha campaign that we launched on DISO, inside the DISO community, which stands for Decentralized Social. And now we're moving into the alpha phase, in which we're establishing value and utility of specific virtual assets that are placed in the metaverse, namely in case of ArtStation, which I'm going to show you in a second, billboards and trade stations, how they can trade NFTs, but that utility can be expanded furthermore. Imagine jukeboxes or like places where people will be able to perform some sort of expositions, for example, right, of 3D photography. I'm not going to go too deep into the roadmap. Let's talk in particular about the ArtStation, which is the project that or the Star Station that I'm developing specifically with the utility of profit sharing communities and the storage of Arweave in hand. It's the first community built Star Station that is focused on exhibition and monetization of art in the virtual world of Astronation. It features 100-meter wide billboards to showcase the NFTs, which can be audiovisual. They don't have to be still shots. They can be movies. It also trade stations to facilitate the sale process, and also Arweave for permanent storage of assets that are displayed on those billboards, because those act as showcase assets that are re-renderings of the original NFT, and can include additional elements that could be placed on top of them to increase the, let's say, conversion of sales. So here we want to leverage Arweave for permanent storage of assets that are going to be displayed in the metaverse, and also profit sharing community for governance and distribution of the commission that will be coming from sales of those NFTs. In very simple terms, this is more or less how it would look like. So starting from the bottom, we take the data regarding the social graph and NFT assets and metadata related to them currently from DISO. Nothing, of course, stands in the way of integrating other chains. It's just that we're so early and I'm kind of alone working on this. So it takes a while, I cannot make all the steps at once. But then after processing that, we can prepare and store showcase assets on Arweave storage, and use the profit sharing community that is attached to our ArtStation inside the configuration of the entity that is stored in the metaverse to vote on which NFTs go in for the showcase, and also to later distribute the commission from profit sharing. I hope that's clear. If there are any questions, I know I have plenty of questions regarding this and how to deploy it, because I would like to also make this a model that other people can replicate, right? So the open source part of this project is to enable other communities to be able to bootstrap much easier their own profit sharing communities and some sort of utility related to a Star Station in the metaverse of Astronation. Having that said, I hope we all stop asking ourselves if we're living in a virtual world and just start building one. And let me show you quickly a demo trailer that we prepared for during the demo, during the technical demo a few years ago. It's essentially you're flying around in a ship in third person, and you're visiting different locations. Here we didn't have this utility again, missing that crucial part of integration and purpose of those Star Stations beyond flying around them and just shooting in them. But let me now quickly just share another screen with something that I recorded recently on the actual ArtStation. I think I didn't click optimize for video. Let me just click. Okay, so here you can see me flying around with ArtStation in those big billboards, and those NFTs are the ones that were actually fetched from the diesel blockchain and re-rendered, not yet deployed to Arweave, but that's the first step that I wanna make. But the process is kind of already facilitated. Just need to hook it up to the proper chain and store the data there, and yeah, hopefully work on the integration even further. With that said, thank you very much for your time, and I hope this is gonna inspire somebody maybe to do something in the metaverse. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hadn't seen that demo before. Very cool. Cool to see that.
You can also go to our website and download the client. Again, it's alpha, so if you're brave, I would say. But if you go to our website, astronation.world, and you have a VR headset that is connected with Steam VR on your desktop machine, you should be able to fly around ArtStation right now. Not easy. You have to be brave though, but yeah, it's possible.
Perfect. I just shared the website in the chat. All right. Yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to unblock the stage now, and we'll do a little bit of a mingle session. So if you guys have any questions for the founders, feel free to ask them yourselves. So I'll see you guys down there. Cheers.